This is CBC North Quebec. This transmission is being broadcast on satellite and on shortwave on the frequency 9625 kilohertz. Our studio is in Montreal and our transmitter at Sackville, New Brunswick. If you have any comments, you can write us at CBC North Quebec, Post Office Box 6000, Montreal, Quebec 82388, or leave us a message at 1-877-517-4369.
This is CBC News. I'm Rafi Dugard. The Governor of the Bank of Canada says he foresees no imminent changes in interest rates. Mark Carney's comments coincide with the release of the bank's latest monetary policy report. CBC economics correspondent Mike Cornbrook has the details.
The Bank of Canada has sent out a fairly reassuring note that the economy can improve a little bit more. It's starting to come back, but it's more confusing when you get to what exactly are their plans regarding household debt. We've been hearing for quite a long time Canadians have too much debt, but just what does Carney intend to do about it? We're really no clearer on that now than we were before. He doesn't intend to hike interest rates anytime soon, and he just continues to warn us that an interest rate hike is coming. He repeated that in his news conference, but he won't say when that's going to be, as much as he was pushed by reporters to be a little bit more clear. So where we stand right now is a rate hike is coming at some point. Canadians should start getting their debt under control. And in fact, one of the things he pointed out today is there's some indication that the growth of household debt is slowing, and that's welcome news. Mike Cornbrook, CBC News, Toronto.
A new survey shows a majority of Albertans are wary of Chinese investment in the province. The poll was conducted for the University of Alberta's China Institute. It comes as the federal government considers whether to approve a bid by China's state-owned national offshore oil company to buy Calgary-based Nexen. The poll says two-thirds of respondents are against full ownership by Chinese interests. Meanwhile, Green Party MP Elizabeth May says she has obtained the details of the federal government's investment treaty with China. May says the treaty gives Chinese state-owned enterprises the right to complain and charge for damages from decisions in Canada at the municipal, provincial, territorial, and federal levels. She says the deal will be of greater benefit to Chinese investors in Canada than to Canadian investors in China. In the House of Commons, May set out to give the details in 60 seconds or less.
The Prime Minister asked members of this place to acquaint themselves with the treaty. I have. It threatens our security, our sovereignty, and our democracy. And just this 60 seconds will be the only briefing this House gets. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
May says the treaty will apply for a minimum of 15 years and possibly for as long as 30. The treaty is slated to come into effect next month. The Attorney General of Texas is warning international election observers to stay away during the U.S. presidential election in November. Greg Abbott says observers from the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe will be committing a criminal offense if they come within 30 meters of Texas voting locations. Jane Little reports.
International monitors will be at polling places across the U.S. next month, as they have been in previous elections, looking for irregularities. The Republican Attorney General of Texas, though, has warned them to stay away and said they do not have jurisdiction to interfere with Texas elections. Greg Abbott cited the fact the OSCE had met with groups opposed to a Texas law, since struck down, which required voters to show a photo ID at the polls. Democrats claim they disenfranchise the poor and racial minorities. The OSCE said the threat of criminal sanctions was unacceptable.
The BBC's Jane Little in Washington. Ontario's ombudsman says more police officers die by their own hand than as a result of risks on the job. André Marat issued a report on how the province and the provincial police force deal with operational stresses on the job, and he says authorities simply haven't been dealing with it.
In a paramilitary organization like the OPP, unless there's strong leadership to discourage a crass prejudice appealing to the lowest common denominator, these things take their toll. What we've heard from the OPP is a lot of clap, trap, and drivel, and very little action.
Marat says he's disappointed at the response to his recommendations from the province and the Ontario Provincial Police. Garth Stravinsky has been granted day parole. The former theater mogul has served just 1 year of his 5-year sentence for fraud. He and his business partner Myron Gottlieb were convicted 3 years ago of falsifying financial statements. And that's the news to this hour from CBC Radio.
ici Radio-Canada Nord-Québec. Ainsi se terminent nos émissions quotidiennes. Ces émissions, sur ondes courtes, sont diffusées à la fréquence 9625 kHz de 6h58 heure de l'Est jusqu'à la fermeture à 1h04 du matin. Ces émissions vous parviennent de Montréal, au Québec, et notre émetteur est situé à Sackville, au Nouveau-Brunswick. Adressez toute correspondance à Radio-Canada Nord-Québec, place postale 6000, Montréal-Québec, H3C 3A8. Ou téléphonez-nous au numéro 1-877-597-4369. Bonne nuit.